I've also seen escorts, put their babies in the shower while having a date. Hey everyone, my name is Bonnie Divine, and today in this video, we will be talking about experiences that I had as an escort. If you don't know what an escort is, I will put the link somewhere in the corner. I've had some pretty crazy, wild, scary experiences as an escort. And the reason that I wanted to escort is because I wanted to make money. I wanted to be free. I wanted to stop living at my parents' house. I was actually really mad at them. I wanted to be able to do whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted. So I ended up meeting this girl on Facebook, and she asked me if I wanted to escort with her. And honestly, I thought this would be a great idea back in the days. Back when I was younger, I thought this would be a great idea. I thought it would be super fun. The fact that I would be able to make money, the fact that I wouldn't have a pee and I'd be hanging out with a girl, that sounded super amazing to me. And the girl, she seemed like a fun person to hang out with. So I was very intrigued by this and I said, yes, why not? So she literally came and picked me up and we went out of town and we started escorting together. So as I was working with her, I ended up being exposed to different drugs, and these drugs, I became really, really addicted to them, to the point that it was helping me cope with what I was doing as an escort, to the point where I felt this was normal to be able to escort, like this is life, and I felt good about it. Every time I hit the drugs, I felt more empowered, and the drugs were really messing with my mind, and so was the girl as well. I mean, she would say these things that would really feed my ego and feed just the craziness in my mind on these drugs. It was crazy, and I would think that I was just the best person ever and that I was just making all the money and that I just had all the guys and that I had all the girls and that I had all the jewelry and makeup and wigs and that I just had everything. And the drugs really just turned my mind into some crazy egotistic person. I felt like I was on top of the world, being high and having all of these things, all of these materialistic things. And it was really bad actually. So I ended up, overdosing one day because I was just so addicted to the drugs and it made me feel so empowered. And so I overdosed one day, and I remember I was just sitting there and I could feel myself dying while everyone around me was, sniffing more drugs and going crazy. And as I was crying out for help, no one helped me because everyone was so high. And that actually became the usual, maybe every other day, every day at times, where I would overdose and I would feel these feelings, but I was so addicted to the drug that I couldn't stop. And it was helping so much with my job and what I was doing that I couldn't stop. It was hard for me to stop. And I literally would get super angry if I didn't have my drug with me. There were times where I would have a date and it would end up being a P, and the P would try to come and take us and kidnap us and do something crazy with us. There were times where we were running away from P's. There were times that we were just so high that we almost flew off the freeway in the middle of the rain because we were so high. And it was just a lot of dangerous experiences that we went through. I've also seen escorts, put their babies in the shower while having a date, and it was just crazy to see all of these things. It was crazy. And it was crazy because everyone's mindset was like, we gotta do this, we gotta get this money, we have to do this, we have to get this done. That's all there really is to life, is to get this money and to make a living this way. And it was sad to see that, even in that moment, even though I was on drugs and high and had this, crazy mindset, there was a part in me that, saw that and was like, this is crazy, this is crazy that a baby is literally in the bathtub waiting for her mom to get done doing a job. So it became to be more stressful, more depressing, more scarier than it was fun. In the beginning, I thought it was just all fun and games. But when I was in it, and just, a few of the experiences that I shared with you, and there's more experiences as well, just going through that, it made me rethink everything. It made me think about, what I'm doing and what I'm putting myself through. And I became even more angrier. I became even more sad. I became even more broken than what I was when I first started. All this to say that this was not the life for me, and it shouldn't be the life for you. I feel like a lot of times we put ourselves in these situations because we're trying to fill a void that's within us, that's empty, that's broken, that's hurt, or it's something that we grew up around, it's something that we were raised around, something that we are just so used to seeing, to the point where we feel as though there's no other way of living, there's no other routes to go in life, when that's absolutely not true. There's so many different other healthier, happier ways to live your life than to put yourself in those situations. I mean, it's not worth dying. It's not worth going through any of the experiences that I went through. And I'm sure people have been through other things as well. It's just totally not worth it, especially where I'm at today, knowing that there is a more loving, peaceful life, you know, and not having to deal with the stress of everything that the fast life gives you is just not worth it. And I pray that if you are in this situation, that you will get out of the situation and know that there is a way out of this situation, and know that just because you were raised a certain way, or just because you did this or did that, that doesn't mean that you can't change your life. That doesn't mean that you can't experience the riches of life. That doesn't mean that you can't experience being high off of life. You don't necessarily need a substance to be high off of life. You can literally be high off of life by just living. Just know that there's a better life for you, and you don't need to live the fast life. There are alternatives, and I pray that you find peace, and that you find joy, and that you find happiness on your journey in this life. Thank you so much, you guys, for tuning in, and I hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video.
3G, 3G, 3G. Yeah. I do what I do, you do it through